Sheriff Grady Judd tells us this was quite the close call for the victim. After the father and son fired 7 shots into her car, she drove to this Circle K and called 911.
Now, what I'm about to tell you, you just absolutely cannot believe.
Sheriff Judd says it all started with a package delivered to the wrong door on Saturday morning. When a neighbor realized that package of medication was for 73-year-old Gino Costa, he dropped it off at the correct address. Sheriff Judd says Costa and his 15-year-old son received alerts from the Ring camera of an unknown person at the door.
So what do? They think they're being broken into. Are you kidding me? The dude is being a good neighbor, and he simply goes there and returns the package to the appropriate address.
So definitely going to put some dampers on being a good neighbor. A person showed up at a neighbor's house, switched packages because apparently it was delivered to the wrong place, and these two, father and son, came out and shot. Not at the person who re-delivered the package, but at a random woman in her car. In fact, they shot at her 7 times. That sheriff that you saw talking about, the dude can't believe he would do such a thing. He continued on. He honestly, I think his tone, his energy is probably everyone else is in the room and everyone else is hearing about this story. Let's let him continue.
They armed themselves. First, Rocky comes outside. He looks around. He doesn't see anybody. He goes back inside. Then Gino picks up his 45, so they both have 45 caliber firearms. And Gino, not only does he pick up his firearm, he picks up his cane so he can walk.
The sheriff says Costa approached a car with an innocent woman minding her own business in the driver's seat.
When she looks up and she sees Gino standing at the back of her vehicle with a gun pointed at her, screaming for her to get out of the car.
Thinking she was being carjacked, she hit reverse and backed into another car. That's when the sheriff says the son fired 5 shots and his father shot twice at the victim's car.
During our investigation, we learned that one of the bullets, even though it didn't hit her, went through the baby's car seat in the back and lodged in the driver's seat of the car. Our victim was that close to death.
The parallels between the story we just did about the road raging folks in Florida shooting at each other and then hitting the daughter. There's so many parallels there with that. One luckily empty car seat that was shot into her car 7 times. They actually hit that instead of her. A few more details here. The woman in Costa later alerted authorities of this incident and they launched an investigation. The woman did not suffer any of the wounds. So good thing for them. They also have bad gun training as well as far as shooting. The sheriff added that the two acted way out of line and did not understand Florida's stand your ground law, which allows residents to defend or threaten force if they feel someone is attempting to break into a home. That doesn't mean you can go search people out and shoot at them. That's exactly what they did. So someone shows up at your door, ring doorbell camera, drop a package, and therefore you're now a suspect to these two minds who run out and start shooting at a different person. Again, I go back to it, AB. We're talking about the quick use and the quick trigger of guns and with reasons why people think they need it. What did they really think they were about to die? Did they really think that this woman in her car backing out frantically was coming to kill them? Or were they just thinking she violated what I thought was my porch and I need to kill now? What's the end game?
Okay, I think it's all of the above, right? So the one thing we have to take into consideration is that we're seeing that these suspects, right, did not understand the stand your ground law, did not understand that they could not follow someone or go after someone that they thought was violating them. But isn't that exactly what Zimmerman did and then got off in Florida? And we in Florida, so how do you not, I mean, like, that seems like it's reasonable to me after y'all let him off for that, right? So let's start there. And then I'm wondering, like, what in the either controlled substance or lack of medication was going on here? Because you clearly, like, what kind of medications were they on that he was missing? Because this is giving paranoia, right? And this is giving you don't care about the value of human life. You know what I mean? Like if you are already safely in your home and you walk out of your home, you grab your cane, all of this gives intent, right? This is all first degree murder when you think about intent. You walked out of your home, you grabbed your gun, you left, you came back, then your son came behind you. This is a murder. You intended to go and murder someone. You weren't protecting yourself because you were safe inside with your phone, your guns, and your Ring camera. What'd you go outside for?
It's a lack of self-awareness, because right when they said that she backed up frantically thinking she was getting carjacked, of course she does, because there's two people that rolled up with guns and said, get out, get out. What else does that
and a woman
and sound like? Yeah, what does it look and sound like? Two folks roll up with guns screaming, get out of the car, get the F out the car. I don't know if that's what they said, but get out the car, we've got guns. Similarly, like a couple weeks ago, the story that blew up, that officer that pulled and snatched the door open on the teenager who he thought was disrespecting him too much from previous interactions. So let's get to shooting. It's a startling event. People aren't living in your perspective and in your brain. So when you do something, you have to consider what you look like while you're doing it. We don't have that because I've got my gun. It's all that matters.